So you clicked on this video and I'm assuming that you used to watch many of Dan's popular shows. The man who looks both 14 and 40 at the same time. For the 90s kids, he produced Drake and Josh back in 2004. He also produced Zoe 101, which for some reason I thought it was about mermaids, but apparently not. Alongside Victorious, Sam and Cat, and this other show I found, Henry Danger. The show features a goofy Asda value Superman looking ass and a tree? Now the reason I bring these shows up is because you may not know who Dan Schneider is, so now you do. Dan co-hosted the second ever Kids' Choice Awards, but had a much bigger involvement in the late 90s when he was asked to produce a TV show called All That. They've also got a channel now and a Justin Bieber yummy party. I got that yummy yum, that yummy yum, that yummy yummy. Hell yeah, man. I don't know if you've seen a Nickelodeon show in 2020. They're not good.
Bethany, how much of that did you hear? All of it. Charlie's right. I don't.
Chill with the laugh tracks, oh my god. There's been a lot of talk about Dan over the past years, mostly bad however, and downright disgusting and disturbing. I'm sure everyone is aware about this fetish, it's become a bit of a meme over time, but there's a big theory that Dan has a massive foot fetish, and to be honest I wouldn't really call it a theory, it's pretty much canon now, with the amount of times this man has talked about toes. Now if he wasn't weird about it, then I wouldn't have really been bothered, but Dan glorified his fetish on his kids' TV shows. Over the years, people began to notice that feet were featured in a lot of Dan's shows, mostly having the characters barefoot, or even downright sucking their own toes.
You ever tried to get your whole big toe in your mouth? Check this out.
Dan mate, are you alright? As a kid, this is something that I never really noticed. Oh for fuck's sake, Dan. Maybe he just thinks feet are comedic gold dust. I say that, but he probably gets off the feet gold dust, let's be real. Maybe we just got off the wrong foot with Dan. Oh wait, never mind. I found his old tweets and let's just say they feature a lot of feet.
Toes, similar to fingers, but not nearly as good. Who agrees?
Carly tickles Sam's very unusual toes. If you have a moment, will you please name Sam's toes for us?
Thanks for the offer, Dan, but I'll pass. Even Gibby from iCarly gave his thoughts on the topic and claimed he never really noticed when he was filming back when he was 15.
If that shit went on, I'm fucking like, that's devastating to me because I don't see him in that light, you know? So watching clips on YouTube and shit of that is like crazy. But I mean, the foot fetish shit is like, okay, bro, come on. Like I never really noticed that when I was 15 on the show, but of course, looking in retrospect, it's like, okay. No, I don't know. No, and I never observed, saw anything like that or got into that. So it's fucking, it might be baseless rumor, but I don't want to speak. Like, what if some shit comes out? I don't want to be like on record being like, no, you know, so I have no clue.
But then things began to get even more creepy. Dan made a post on the Sam and Cat Twitter account back in 2013 by getting their fans to write on the bottom of their foot with the hashtag Sam and Cat Saturday. Like, getting kids to send feet pics is not only creepy, it's genuinely fucked up. So more like hashtag Prison Monday instead, am I right, Dan? But this did not only fill Dan's fetish, I can guarantee that it fulfilled many others too, which disgusts me that Dan would even allow that to happen to his child actors. And many vulnerable kids too. I wouldn't hold Dan responsible if he didn't heavily involve his fetish, but he did, so for that reason he has to take that hit. The next few pieces of information I have are allegations, however what's to come I certainly don't doubt them to be completely untruthful. It's also worth noting that Dan hasn't denied or tried to dismiss any of these cases. An anonymous woman came onto a podcast and claimed that for the audition process actors were told to run around in front of the camera barefoot. The woman's age was apparently 15 at the time, and after this happened, her mum complained to her acting agent after she herself found it very inappropriate. So you might have thought, oh well, maybe the agent must have confronted Dan Schneider, oh, that's so Oh, what did they do? They blacklisted them. Oh, well that doesn't look dodgy at all. So that's what they did. The actor and her mother were blacklisted from all other agents, which means every agent they applied to in the area refused to take them on. In another post, Dan allegedly told someone that he bet he could make them ticklish for $100. He then went back into his office with her and gave her a foot massage and fed her with compliments about her feet. The original poster never revealed her identity or age, which I'm guessing is for privacy reasons, which I do respect, but we do have to take these as allegations unless more proof does surface. I'm not saying I don't believe the girls, it's more that I don't want Dan Schneider to try and sue my ass. I've got about 2p in the bank. Another point on the feet part was that these DMs were leaked by a woman unknown to how old she was, where Dan pretty much begs her to send her toe pics. He describes them as being puppies. What the fuck, Dan? What litter have you been looking in, mate? And after she's pressured into sending a picture, Dan calls her feet epic. What? I don't think anyone can ever say that word again without being reminded that Dan Schneider said that somebody's feet were epic. Now, screenshots can be faked, and I tried to look for clues to them being edited. The first thing I noticed that there wasn't any verification tick. However, these screenshots look like the old Instagram update, where it never used to show the tick on the top. And also, when Dan liked her photo, that's also the old version. I also haven't been able to find a video version of these screenshots, so though the screenshots do look legit, these are just allegations at the moment. Again, Dan, don't sue me please. It's not my fault you like toes. There was a boot camp set up by Dan and his friend Brian Peck. More on him later. Where children were promised to get recognition from directors. I call it a boot camp like it's some kids military camp. It was just basic acting classes, but the parents were quickly escorted off the property and these kids were left alone. The place had activities for kids such as a tennis court and a swimming pool. The age range for the camps were between age 13 and 22. Kids were pushed to use the pool more as well, as they were told they would get a better opportunity at getting discovered. In 2004, not long after these pool parties took place, Brian Peck was arrested for sexually abusing minors under the age of 16, and there were 11 accounts against him. For some reason, this trash bag ass only got 16 months in prison. This is something that still really pisses me off. Personally, I think pedos should get the gulag and have spectators throw rocks at them for the rest of eternity. What makes this an even bigger slap to the face to the victims is that this man, after getting out of prison, was continued to be allowed to work with underage children with Nickelodeon and even Disney. And let's just quickly remind ourselves that this is the man who was best mates with Dan Schneider and helped him run these boot camps. It's also worth noting that there is evidence that these camps took place and that Dan and Brian were working together. And it's quite ironic that they used the word groomed in the title. It's almost like they were trying to foreshadow something.
Then finally Dan walks in. And Dan is not helped the entire time. And I don't feel comfortable going into details about what I've seen with Dan or like what Dan is.
Photos emerged online of Dan being a little too close with his child actors, with photo proof as well that he probably took himself. Take this photo where he has his hand over a girl's leg, or this one where he's resting his hand a little too far down her back. There's a lot of people who look awkward in their photos, like they're feeling uncomfortable by his presence alone. Dan also made the cast on his shows wear very revealing clothes for their young age at certain shoots, usually being the beach scenes. Not only this, there were a lot of weird ass sexual jokes throughout his shows. And even the newest project that he worked on, you know, the one with the tree. Now sure, adult jokes are common. Take SpongeBob SquarePants for example, which has many sprinkled throughout that get a laugh from parents being driven mentally insane from listening to a talking sponge all day. But most of these jokes were harmless or didn't really take it a step too far. And plus, this is live action, not a cartoon, so making squirting jokes around a kid's show towards another character is super creepy.
Take me to the bathroom, I gotta pee now!
He's a puppet, he can't pee!
You don't know what I got!
One of the very few people who have spoken up about this was former Zoey 101 actress Alexa Nikolas. She went off at Dan publicly on her Instagram account by posting an old photo from when she was 12 back on the show, and claims it's creepy that TV producers sexualize children at such a young age. Fans commented in support of her, and she actually replied to a few urging people not to watch his shows, and replying to a comment that asked if she was harassed with the statement of, "In my opinion, he isn't a good guy at all," leading many to believe that this could be the beginning of other actors coming out with their own Dan Schneider experiences. But so far, nobody really has, at least publicly. She then made posts on Instagram with screenshots of Ariana with her toes in her mouth, with a caption along the lines of it being creepy and encouraging the fetish to a young, impressionable audience, and adults too. Things got even darker when she posted a tweet where she claimed she had been taken advantage of, urging she would never let it happen again to herself, after saying she had a breakdown on her birthday as a young child. Now this could have either been a sly dig towards Dan, or it could have been aimed towards her co-workers in the cast, who she claimed after filming the Zoey 101 show treated her very badly behind the scenes. The cast would often bully her, and there was a time where Dan pulled her into his office, and instead of listening to her or speaking to the girls, he apparently told her she needed to go out and finish her last scenes for the day. I find it ironic if it's true, considering one of Dan's rules he claimed to have in the 2002 article mentioned earlier was for the cast to get along with each other and not fight in case the public caught wind of it and gave Nickelodeon a bad name in general. In fact, she just spoke about this in August of 2019 on Instagram Live, where she goes into great detail about her co-stars and Dan Schneider too, claiming he was one of the people who bullied her behind the scenes as well.
But while I was working on the show, Zoe and Dana in real life started acting as a unit, and I was kind of left out. And they would have sleepovers and all these different things, and then I was never invited to any of them. I'll never forget the image, because like Brittany just like came out and telling me that she was going to make sure that nothing came of my career. And I like ran to my trailer. I remember like not being able to like see anything. It was just like everything was like super blurry. So then finally Dan walks in, and Dan has not helped the entire time. And I don't feel comfortable going into details about what I've seen with Dan or like what Dan is, but he comes through and with a smirk on his face. And because he's known the entire time that it was leading to this, he could have prevented this. Like, he could have stepped in and been like, let's be friends here. We're on a kid's show. But no, that never happened. And so Dan comes in with like a smirk on his face, which he always had with me. Not a nice guy. Comes in, he's like, what's going on? What happened, Alexa? Oh no, sorry. He goes, what happened now with you, Alexa? As if it's my fault. Like, immediately.
Obviously, at this point, we can only go off of whatever the actors have said publicly. But with the limited information already out there, I would say it's more than reasonable to assume there's something up. Whether or not Dan Schneider has gone beyond just a couple of creepy photographs has yet to be confirmed. But it is important that we bring these accusations to light, and at least acknowledge what's already out in the open. Because if you ask me, I think it's very possible we've only seen the tip of this iceberg.
Hey Dan Schneider, I know you're watching my Vine. Do you like my Vine? Vine. Look what you've done to me.
Jeanette McCurdy, who played Sam in iCarly, posted a Vine which at the time seemed like it was a parody, but now looking back at it, looks like it was a cry for help almost. She claims that Dan did this to her, and if you didn't know, Ariana was allegedly getting paid a lot more than she was on the show Sam and Cat. She understandably boycotted the Nick Choice Awards and fell out with Ariana Grande over the whole ordeal. A few years later, she came out with an article discussing her battle she suffered during her career on iCarly with anorexia. But I really recommend giving it a read if you have free time after this video. It is a really interesting read. She claims at the time of filming, no one, cast or crew, really checked up on her. Now if you remember Sam from iCarly, her character often joked about wanting or eating chicken as a comedic joke. I don't really get it. Apparently to Dan, chicken equals funny. Now the main reason I bring this up is because with anorexia, even the thought of food can make them feel sick. Now I'm not saying that Dan Schneider made her eat these kind of foods, but if he was aware that this was an issue for her, he didn't really do much to help. After she boycotted the awards, she was then blacklisted from the network, and after that, she never got another role on Nickelodeon. One other thing that I found kinda weird is that Dan taught Miranda how to drive when she was only 15. That's something that like your parents should do, or I don't know, a driving instructor, not Dan Schneider. There were pictures posted that he took of her, and though she does look smiley, a smile can cover up a bigger picture. This does add up to the theories that Dan was a little obsessed with Miranda when she was playing Carly.
She say nice things about me? Because I will tase her if necessary.
Uh-oh.
I have the taser. We haven't had to use it in a long time. But
I said lots of nice things.
So I said nice things about you too.
Oh.
That's gonna get on TV.
That wasn't awkward or creepy at all. Nope, nope. It's kind of like how he was with Ariana. He calls her adorable often, and this photo alone tells me that this man was a bit obsessed with her.
Okay, what did the young shrimp say?
What did the young shrimp say? It sounded like, what did the young...
What? Another clip surfaced online as well. It just seems like Dan brought these really awkward tensions to the sets of his shows. Take this clip for example, where two cast members are clearly messing around behind the scenes, and when they find out that Dan is recording them, they're clearly uncomfortable and even ask him to not record it. Now Dan did delete this, but the internet is the internet, which is why you're even seeing this video.
That was one of the better things I've ever heard.
Hey!
And Grande was clearly uncomfortable with being filmed. You can tell that the two are getting annoyed, but Grande manages to hold it in, but Elizabeth Gillies, not so much. Yeah, she just quits the set. But creepily recording cast members is something common of Dan, which we'll discover later on.
As a playful woman brushes her hair whimsically, a makeup man leans in, makes her chin look extra perfect for the scene. This is par for the course for Cosgrove. It happens daily many times.
Yeah, and it gets weirder. Something really interesting related to Grande, however, is that in just April this year, herself and the cast did a Zoom call for the 10th anniversary of Victorious. So a lot of people were quick to say, oh well, they clearly want to associate with Dan, so the rumours must be fake then. Right? But here's the thing. Victorious was cancelled when it was still peaking high ratings, and let's face it, nobody would cancel a show that was bringing them money. Another anonymous post suggests that there was a lot of drug and sex on the behind the scenes of Victorious. They feared that they would get caught and it would give them bad spotlight for the show and the actors and actresses, so for that reason they cut the show in fear of media finding out. But then something massive happened. It was announced that Dan Schneider had been let go from Nickelodeon in 2018 on a mutual agreement, but not before being paid off a small loan of $7 million. Nothing was ever announced by Nickelodeon leading to him being sacked due to the allegations. However, it was apparently agreed between them both that it was time for Dan to leave the company. But why would they simply fire him when he produced their most popular shows? As much as I hate the guy, Nickelodeon now is terrible. Did they just kill a man? The ratings of his shows were beginning to drop, and people did try to claim that that could have been the reason to why he was fired. But TV shows have been dropping for decades anyway. It's mainly because new technology has come over and kids nowadays make TikToks to their entire 8 followers rather than sitting through an episode of Henry Danger.
Hello guys, and thank you for having 5 followers on my TikTok channel.
Technology has evolved, and I know it's sad that kids don't come home and watch cartoons that much anymore. Instead they play Fortcraft Battle Warzone instead. Today, Dan is still very active on social media. He occasionally posts about his past shows, but mainly happy birthday posts. Alright Dan, Just hoping I get a birthday card next year with a ginormous foot on the front. But I did find this video he took of a behind the scenes of two actresses clearly speaking to each other before a scene, and it was posted like 12 weeks ago, so early this year. It's just little clips that make this man look so weird. To others in the comments as well, it seemed like he was almost trying to spy on them, and I'm very sure that they didn't know that he was even filming them at the time. Because remember, he has a past of doing that. But it does worry me that he has all of these sorts of videos on his phone. There was one more piece to the Alexa Nikolas puzzle that I did find, however. So she posted a video on her story of herself crying, claiming that she never got invited to the Zoe 101 cast reunion. And as far as I'm aware, this was before she even came out with her allegations, so you could tell the cast were still holding a lot of grudges. She also posted a screenshot of alleged Nickelodeon predators, but after that, nothing else really came out, and I guess we're just gonna have to wait to see if she has any more to say. And if she does come out with anything else, I'll be sure to cover it here. But that's kind of where the story ends for now. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this situation. Do you think it's creepy, or do you think I and others are just overreacting? Even though he got kids to send him toe pics, but hey, that's your opinion. I'm also interested to know if you ever noticed these things as a kid, and if so, what TV shows of Dan's did you see them on? Personally, I used to find the feet segments really annoying. Before I close off this video, I'd just like to say a thank you to Aubrey for doing a segment of this video. He actually did his own video on Dan Schneider a few years ago, and he did bring up some other allegations that I haven't mentioned in this video because there's just so much, so I'll leave his video in the description below. I'd also like to say a massive thank you to CordWit and Woody for doing the voices of the foot segment part. It was a bit awkward asking friends to read those tweets, but hey, they did a great job, so go give them some support. But yeah, that's kind of all I got to say, and I will see you in the next one.